All right, Minnesota Wild. This one's fun because like the phrasing of this when you ask a fan versus asking like Russo, we've got Liam. We have fans that have asked him very point blank, is Liam Ohgren getting the Marco Rossi treatment? Fans mean it in a very derogatory way. Russo's like, well, yeah, but that's good. Like, what do you make of just Liam Ohgren's development now that he actually is playing like a top 6 role and seeing some success in Iowa?
I mean, he's ripping it up in Iowa, right? So like when we saw him first few games up here, he was playing fourth line minutes, doing nothing that like when he is a full-time NHL player playing like a meaningful role, like he was doing nothing here the first few games. He wasn't playing in a role he's going to be in when he is a full-time NHL guy, when he is a meaningful part of the roster. So like it never really made sense to have him. Like if they were going to stick him where they were sticking him in the lineup, it never really made a whole lot of sense for him to play that role here the first few games. And I mean, he goes down to Iowa and he's like putting up almost a goal per game, and the goals he's scoring, like he is ripping pucks, and he just looks phenomenal. Like every once in a while, he will just have a shift where he's just taking over. And like there was one I think it was like a week or two ago, I was watching, and he's like same shift, like hit the post twice and then just went upstairs. I was like, Jesus Christ. But I mean, he's playing like 20 minutes a night. He's obviously like their go-to guy on offense. It's what he should be doing. Like, and especially, I mean, like the Wild are like obviously in a bit of a rut right now, not playing very well. Like the losses are piling up. I mean, it has to be expected with all these injuries. But like even with the injuries, he would still, if they wanted to call him up right now, he'd still be sitting there on the fourth line, just playing like 6-7 minutes a night, which is going to do nothing for him. So he's in the right spot right now. He looks phenomenal. He's actually playing. He's been a meaningful role, and like it's working out. So it also like to me kind of says like whenever he does come back up, the plan is to actually put him like wherever in the lineup they picture him moving forward. So why not let him go down there, cook in the AHL? They're winning games now too. Like they're back in the mix. Like the first like month, it was not looking good down there. But I mean, they've strung some real nice wins together. They're starting to put up some offense. A bunch of guys really started turning it on, like guys like Caden Bank here, like who got off to a real slow start. He's starting to put up points again. So I mean, Ogren's in the right spot. I feel like it's still very different though. At the same time, like as the Rossi tree, because like the Rossi thing was like 20 games of no looks whatsoever, and then they just sent him down. It was so different. Like. So, I mean, I get the sentiment of, like, he technically started up here and they sent him back out or whatever, but He's in the right spot. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And, like, why even bother at this point, like, taking him out of that environment and, like, planning him on your fourth line to, like, hopefully.
It never made sense. And you called it on draft day. The line of the future is Ek centering Boldy and Ohgren, as long as Ek's healthy, which begs the question, what the heck's going on with Matt Boldy? Like, I know like he's been shuffled across lines, whatever, he's young. I'm not with fans that are begging for him to be traded, because there's a lot of them, and people are like, also like, we have plenty of people in the chat who are not happy about some of the comments, but again, he does have to play better. Like, he's been super inconsistent. He hasn't been able to carry much play, and let's be real, if Kaprizov isn't in the lineup, he has to be better.
Yeah, no, he's been not good. Like, it's just, and it seems like every time now he jumps over the boards, like he obviously knows. It's not like this is news to him that it's not going well. I mean, especially like last night against the Senators, like that fucking empty net goal. It was like two like really just forced pass across the ice that he did not need to even bother trying to make. The first one like came back to him and he just like put it in the same spot, right? Like I think it was Giroux's stick. I was like, what are you doing? Why? But I mean, it looks like now, like again, he's clearly aware that it's not like he's not played well for a while now. It's been like that was weird. it's been like a month now, probably maybe a little over a month, or maybe really just since the injuries started piling up that it's been like him really not playing his best. But he clearly knows that he's not playing well, and he's trying to do way too much. I mean, he's taking like really bad penalties too. Like he's just ending up in the box more and more often. But it looks like he's like forcing plays, trying to do too much. I think if he just like can simple it down, like keep it simple, slow it down, just move the puck, and I mean, I think that'll help him out a lot. But like right now, it looks like he's just forcing it, trying to do too much. He knows he's not playing well. He's barely scoring. Like I said, especially if Kaprizov's out for any additional amount of time, they're going to need him to step up. So, but yeah, I mean, he's going through one of those ruts. But again, he's a young player; he'll be fine. I feel like there's got to be only a handful of very vocal people who are actually advocating for him to get traded, because I get the combination of the Wild really not playing well as of late, especially fucking PK. Good Lord, again. It's like every once in a while, it's like, all right, they went 2 for 3.
Again or still?
Yeah, no, still.
Again when it's never been good.
No, still. It's just like the last few games, it's like, holy. Like, I mean, the second they lose the face-off, it's like that's going in a second. They also need a save, but it's fine on the PK. But
it goes both ways.
Nothing's going well. It's really not going well. The whole PK, everything. But like the combination of the Wild, like going through this first like real bad run of the year after getting off to such a hot start, coinciding with like several injuries, and then Boldy's play not being what we expected, or especially when he started off very hot too. Like I get people like it's like when it rains, it pours. So, it's obviously it's frustrating, especially like when the mistakes he's making. It's like that's so avoidable, and that he's better than that. Yeah. But like the whole trading, that's crazy.
No, but I don't agree. I understand.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I get the frustration. It's like, all right, let's trade. Let's take that back down.
But it's been every year. It feels like Matt Boldy goes on big heaters and then he's gone for a month or two. And it's like, where is and again, his game lends itself to looking even worse than it actually is, because realistically, he's usually very positive in the analytics category. Like he's not negatively impacting the team. He's just not scoring. Right now, it's a little bit of both, and fans are going to pile on because, like you said, the team's been bad, so that doesn't help. Like winning can shelter that. But I understand if they think, oh, Matt Boldy, maybe this is just who he is. Maybe we can get a really good player because national sentiment is this guy can freaking play. Be honest. If the decision was made this week instead of a month ago, is Matt Boldy playing for Team USA for 4 Nations?
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, like with how he's playing right now, yeah, it wouldn't go. But I mean, you could say that about like any player. I mean, this kid's 23 years old. Like, this is what his 3rd full year in the league. Like, he's still just under a point per game. He's second on the team in points right now. Like, yeah, if he was playing like this the whole year, then yeah, he wouldn't have made the second team. But like,
I'm saying if the decision was made now, though, recency bias, like, I'm guessing there are guys that could have edged him out. But yeah. Obviously we'll never know, and everyone will say nepotism from Billy Guerin, whatever. Real quick, Scott Young, active in the chat, new to the group. Appreciate you. In late, this is the Pseudo Sue from Toppling Goliath. Delicious pale ale. I actually think the King Sue, their double IPA, is even better. But at Costco right now for Minnesotans, you can get 24 of these for $34, which is an incredible deal. So if you're about that life, get after it. We got to get into the funny thing that happened, Z. Not only did the Dallas Stars blatantly break protocol for the holidays, they told on themselves. Like, I asked Russo, we actually recorded with Russo this morning. That'll be releasing on Wednesday for the Fellowship of the Rink listeners. I asked him straight up, I'm like, is this the only time we'll ever see Pete DeBoer lose in a press conference related to the Minnesota Wild? I mean, what do you think? This is crazy that he actually like raised his hand. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, guys, we broke the rules.
We should hang a banner. We should hang a banner next though.
We should hang it in Nashville.
Yeah, they should just go. Yeah, give him another one.
But so, one for people that don't understand, the brief explanation is the Players Association has negotiated to make sure that there is no hockey played, optional or otherwise, on the 24th, 25th, and 26th, so that players can't be, coerced into optional practices, feel obligated to go. And Dallas, by all accounts, the players were like totally down and wanted to have this practice a day early, but you cannot do it, especially with a coach on the ice. I think the way Russo explained it is essentially even if the Wild wanted to make TRIA available to the players, they can't like use team sanctioned ice. Now, if Jared Spurgeon wanted to rent out ice at Braemar and the boys go out and skate, I guess that's okay. But outside of that, like you cannot skate early. Dallas did it and then told on themselves for doing it and get $100,000 fine, which is an absolute fucking joke. Like that's not even a fine. Like that's not a punishment. Why even do it?
I think what they should do is give Kirill another Calder and then assign any vote that Robertson got that year. We'll rewrite the history books and give it all to Kirill so he sweeps. So he's the only one that got any votes for the Calder. Nashville gets a banner. Minnesota makes the playoffs automatically with home ice. But it was dumb. I can't believe he just said it at the press conference. Like that was fucking like
that's like, very un-DeBoer. Like DeBoer dominates press conferences.
He was off his game. It was like, dude, he was like, it's not even like when DeBoer is really wild. It's like at the All-Star games, he like gets after it and like apparently he like likes to rip it up and he's like wild. So like he can't not weird wild. Nailed it. But he can't even blame it on that. It wasn't the All-Star break, dude. Like he's just talking at a press conference, be like, yeah, I did that shit. Maybe he thought like he would be. Maybe he thought he was invincible, but it is crazy. Like it was just so dumb. It's a pretty like black and white. Like I mean, I guess there's like a couple layers to it. Not even. No, it's pretty black and white that you can't do this. They're like you like yeah, no, I did it.
Well, no, they on the 22nd or 23rd, the league sent out a memo being like, hey, in case anyone forgot, here's the rules. Like it's just so ridiculous. Fucking Dallas. God
like,
damn it.
I thought you said that's what we're supposed to do. I thought the rule was everyone.
We can't do it. I understand now.